Hey there, B2B founders and marketers. Did you know that 58% of B2B marketers struggle with lead quality? I'm Tonie from the Scaling Founder and Koenig Digital, where I've helped US and UK businesses cut sales cycles by 37%. Whether you are a startup on a budget or a $5 to $10 million firm scaling fast, lead generation is your growth engine. Today, I'm answering 20 must-know questions to master lead generation in 2025. Subscribe and hit the bell and action. Lead generation builds your pipeline with high-value prospects. From free tools for startups to advanced account-based marketing for mid-market firms. I'll cover budget-friendly tips, US UK compliance, and strategies using tools like Apollo AI, Scaling Founder CRM, and HubSpot. And stick around for my free Smart Lead Gen guide at the end. So let's look at the questions. As question number one, what is B2B lead generation and why is it essential? B2B lead generation attracts and converts prospects into leads. So you can imagine that the quality of the lead that you get is very important. So a $1 million Boston startup used LinkedIn to generate 100 leads monthly, doubling their revenue. And LinkedIn is a very good starting point for startups. So it's vital for UK and US firms to fill pipelines and drive growth. You need to be active in the market. People need to see you. And question number two, how do startups build a lead gen funnel on a budget? Okay, so use a three-step funnel. First one is you need to attract, then you need to capture, and then you need to nurture. Once you've attracted, captured, and nurtured, you'll get to the conversion bit. A 500K London startup used LinkedIn posts and a Canva ebook and a MailChimp free plan to capture 50 leads monthly. So start small and test channels. You need to start somewhere. So next question number three, what are the best lead gen tools for startups in 2025? So for startups, Apollo IO and HubSpot free shines. A $1 million Seattle SME used Apollo IO to score 200 leads, boosting conversion by 15%. For mid-market, you've got the Scaling Founder Smart Leads, you've got Salesforce, you've got Zoom Info, and that scales your ABM. So I'm checking my guide for X. So you know what ABM stands for? Is account-based marketing. Very, very much more focused on your ideal client. Question number four, how does lead gen differ from startups versus $5 to $10 million firms? Well, startups focus on organic channels like LinkedIn. Mid-market used ABM. A $7 million Austin firm targeted 50 accounts with Salesforce closing 30% faster. Tailor strategies to budget and scale. The more targeted you can become, the better. I'm sure you've heard the story about the Dream 100, an advertising firm owned by Charlie Munger's company way back, or still owned by them, cut their list of clients down from 3,000 to the 100 top clients, and they thrived. You can read it online and you get it in books. It's a case study. So focus on your top leads and you'll do big business, as opposed to trying to have thousands of leads out there that means nothing. Okay, so question number five, what's the best lead magnet for early stage versus $5 to $10 million firms? For early stage, for startups, it's an ebook or a checklist, 5 growth hacks. For mid-market, you're looking at webinars or white papers, because now you start looking at high-ticket products and a little bit more involved information. So a $1 million Austin firm startup started with a ebook that captured 100 leads, and a $6 million Chicago firm again used a webinar that drew 50 C-suite prospects. So though you need to look at who you're targeting. Your ICP is critical. Question number 6 is, how do US and UK startups use LinkedIn for lead generation? Okay, post value-driven content and use Sales Navigator. You need to provide value. You need to, and value in the sense of you need to answer pain points, because your clients are online looking to have their problem solved. Your content, your posts that you send them needs to solve their problems. And if they can see that you can solve their problems, then they will engage. It's a very logical progression there. So $1 million Manchester startup generated 150 leads with LinkedIn posts, saving 5K on ads. That's amazing. But you need to build that credibility. So you engage in groups, and for UK and US companies in the manufacturing sector, your target market, your ICP, find groups where they are and start adding value, and you will start getting people engaging with you. Question number 7 is, how do $5 to $10 million firms implement ABM for lead gen? So you target high value accounts with personalized campaigns. A $7 million Denver SaaS firm used Salesforce for ABM, closing $1 million in deals. You use intent data from programs like Zoom Infos, from tools like that, the Scaling Founder Smart Leads, to prioritize accounts, to find out who you need to speak to find information like they visited your pricing page, or they checked out an article you have about one of your pieces of equipment or services that can solve their problem. All of these little targets, all of these little signals makes them a better target. And that's your account-based marketing. You focus on your top people, and then you find out what they're looking for, and you solve that problem for them. With AI and all of that we have today, it helps. It actually closes the gap. It makes your sales cycle shorter. That's quite incredible to see in action. Now, question number 8: what role does content marketing play in lead generation for SMEs? Plainly put, content attract leads. Statistics shows us that most people looking to have a pain point solved searches the internet before they engage with a company or a solution provider. So be that information provider, and the leads will almost come to you, because your clients will see you online and they will trust you before you engage. And that makes a massive difference. Okay, a $3 million business SME that we worked with a while ago, their blogs drove 500 website visits monthly. And from there, they captured 50 high intent leads, people uh, getting a specific question answered and wanting more from there. So use videos or guides, optimize for your US or UK keywords like solving quality control issues caused by production machinery. That's a very long-term keyword, and anybody looking for that is very close to actually wanting a solution. Okay, question number 9: how do startups use AI for lead generations? So here, very important, AI personalized outreach. You need to get the person's name. You need to find out a little bit more about them. You need to engage on LinkedIn. You need to like their content. A $1 million San Francisco startup used Apollo AI to tailor 500 emails daily, boosting replies by 25%. We get a 40% reply on our emails because we've got the person's name in there. We've got the client's name in there. We've got his information from his LinkedIn posts in there. We know we search on the internet and things like that, and all of that gets used to personalize the outreach. But as a startup, start some research on ChatGPT about that company, and then bring that back into your personalization, and then launch your actual campaign, and you will get much better results. Question number 10: what are common lead mistakes for B2B firms, or lead gen mistakes? Avoid broad targeting or neglecting follow-ups. Very important. We all know, we've all been to sales courses. We all have the sales gurus telling us you need 7 to 14, sometimes more actual touches before somebody buys, before you close a deal. And this is so critical, because most reps or salespeople give up after the third contact. This is where AIs come in now, and it's becoming a money spinner if you implement that right. So a $3 million Denver SME lost 20% of their leads because of poor nurturing. So define your ICP, that's your ideal client profile, and automate follow-ups with HubSpot or Scaling Finder CRM. The automation, as it says, is automation. Once you've engaged, the automation carries on, and then the lead scoring will then tell you when that client's engaged with you again, and when that score gets to a certain point, with all this engagement, that's a hot prospect, and you need to jump in and close the deal. Okay, so question number 11: how does lead scoring enhance lead gen for $5 to $10 million firms? So scoring prioritizes high value leads. A $6 million Boston firm used Salesforce to score 5,000 leads, closing them 25% faster, because it gives you intent. The buyer's funnel, people, you only have 5%, around 5% of people are actually ready to buy. The other, like 15 to 20%, are thinking about it, they're still researching it, and the rest haven't even thought about it. So you need to attract them at every level. You need to be there when that intent is highest, and then you need to nurture for the rest who's still coming up, to that decision. Okay, so integrate scoring with lead gen and your CRM for efficiency, and you will be amazed at the quality leads you get from following that. But you have to apply it. You have to have uptake from your team. Marketing and sales need to talk, all kinds of stuff like that. So it's a process. Start small, but start. Okay. Question number 12 is: how do SMEs use intent data for lead generation? So intent data identifies ready to buy leads. A $4 million Bristol firm used Zoom Info in intent data to target 100 leads, filling or lifting conversions by 30%. Now, what we talk about with intent is somebody is visiting your pricing page, or a specific blog post that answers a specific question, um, and it just tells you that person is thinking about it, and he's a lot ready to buy, and he's considering, he just needs somebody to actually push him over the edge or close the deal. And then for startups, you can use LinkedIn signals for free on LinkedIn itself, and also obviously in Sales Navigator, which is really a must for lead generation these days, especially if you're not doing the high intent stuff yet. So question number 13 is: what's the ROI of lead generation for B2B? So this is the simple thing here. The logic here is that lead generation drives revenue. Point. You don't need to debate it or anything. Without leads, your business is dead. Without good leads, you will not grow. Okay, then that's it. That's point blank. So $5 million Austin firm saw 4 times growth in ROI with Apollo IA, generating 500K in deals, for a 125K spend. Okay, so you also have to spend money to make money, but at the end of the day, the ROI is worth it. So track your cost per lead and your revenue to measure what this is in your company, at the moment. Then question number 14 is how do US and UK startups generate leads for tech firms? So tech leads need some targeted outreach, and you can actually find behavioral leads or triggers with your high intent data and your so that you can actually see what companies have searched for, what kind of software they've searched for, what kind of software they have, which software trials they took, and things like that. And that tells you what they're looking at the moment. A $1 million London startup used Apollo IO to source 150 tech leads, closing them 20% faster, just because they could see what they were taking trials of. Okay, so question number 15 is how does automation boost lead gen for SMEs? Okay, automation scales campaigns. It's frees up your time so that you can focus on closing deals while the automation does the follow up and the kind of heavy lifting there. A $3 million Manchester SME used Active Campaign to nurture 1,000 leads, saving them 15 hours weekly. So you can automate your emails, you can automate your scoring, um, um, and you can do that with a lot of efficiency these days. You have the personalization in there, and the sky's the limit, really. So question 16 is how do startups test lead gen campaigns? A/B test channels and offers. You've heard about A/B testing. Um, it's critical if you want to grow. It's critical for scaling because sometimes very small changes in a campaign or on a web page, I think, can bring huge rewards. So a 500K Seattle startup tested LinkedIn ads, improving clicks by 20%. And that they did by changing one word in the headline. So use free analytics in HubSpot or Google Sheets to actually achieve this. And obviously the ad platforms also shows you, how the ads are performing and you can make decisions from there. Question number 17 is how do a $5 to $10 million firms optimize lead gen funnels? So what it tells them is that they can analyze the funnel, the business that comes in or the traffic that comes in from that funnel, and they can actually analyze drop-off points and then go and make changes, and then use heat maps or the CRM reports to see where the drop-off happens and then refine it, do the A/B testing. Okay. So in this case, we have had a $7 million Denver firm that tweaked their HubSpot funnel and it boosted their conversions by 25% again. You get on the internet, you will get what we call banner blindness, and especially with ads and that, you need to change it up all the time because if people see it too much or too often, they become blind to it. And it's sometimes when you write something, you don't even see the errors you make in your writing because you read it so fast, and then somebody else actually picks up, oh, you made an error somewhere. So yes, we need to optimize for this as well. Then question number 18 is we're almost finished. How does lead gen align sales and marketing for SMEs? Okay, shared goals unify teams. Sales and marketing needs to talk. They must talk, and because marketing generate your leads and sales must close the leads. So there needs to be some synergy there, and there needs to be shared KPIs between leads generated and leads closed, and also messages and ICPs so that you can get an optimized message. Once you have that in sync, things like what happened to this $4 million leads firm, they used HubSpot to align the lead handoffs, and then that cut the sales cycles by 15%. So you get your lead, you nurture your lead, you scale your lead, and you score your lead, and then you need to hand it off to the sales team as soon as it gets to the point where this lead has now become a hot lead. Okay, then question number 19 is how do startups ensure GDPR slash CCPA compliance in lead gen? Well, you need to use opt-in forms with transparent data policies. You have to ask permission and you have to have a record of that permission asked. Modern CRMs allow you to have all of that in your forms. You need to have your policies on your website and your privacy policy and all of that so that it's visible. When you send an email, there needs to be a unsubscribe link. All of this makes you compliant and saves you from any kind of prosecution. And most or all of the platforms like MailChimp and ActiveCampaign must have it in these days, or you must have it in before you can even send the email. Don't spam. You don't like spam. Nobody likes spam. Okay, so a $1 million Boston startup stayed CCPA compliant with MailChimp opt-outs. Okay, make sure that you get this in place. Then question number 20 is how do B2B firms measure lead gen success? So what you need to do is you need to track your lead volume, the quality, and conversions. That will tell you if you're getting good leads and to see where they drop off and is the problem conversion or follow up or closing. But you need to track this information. You need to measure your KPIs regularly. In fact, I did a Udemy course of the B2B Sales Masterclass, and we devote a whole module and various chapters on how to win with analytics and KPIs. So check out the link in the description if you want to learn more. And by doing this, a $5 million Chicago firm measured 3 times lead growth using Apollo AI and measuring it, just getting the lowdown in that. Okay, so that's the 20 questions. I hope you enjoy that. If you have any more questions or you want to discuss it more, leave me a comment and I'll gladly answer that, and we can gladly have a discussion about that and about the importance of having this in place to get your B2B to growth, to scale. So, we covering on this channel from startups building funnels to 5 to 10 million firms scaling with ABM. So there's a strategy for you here. And as I said earlier, if you want more, check out my B2B Sales Masterclass on Udemy. It's got in-depth learning and tools and checklists on all of this, on scoring, on automation and more. And then for you, grab my free Smart Lead Gen guide, and guide and grow your pipeline. Grow the quality lead that you get. It's a free and it's in the subscription as well. And then if you like the content, subscribe, hit the bell and comment. Tell me what's your lead gen hack. And let's keep scaling together. Thank you for watching again. This is Tonie, Scaling Founder. I'll see you in the next video and keep on scaling.